start with vetting currently ongoing in Parliament, and we do know that Minister-designate for Tourism, Catherine Apeku, has been responding to questions about her controversial involvement in a fraudulent case. Let's take a look.
Secretary Generalship of the UGCC. That's in lawyer Pan. Oh, we'll see, if God permits. However, not many people are aware of where those structures are, how our historical figures lived, even though in other parts of the world, even where poets and authors like Shakespeare and others lived, have plaques identifying them, and they are sites where students and educational activities take place around them, because excursions take place and they are taught how those people lived and all that. We are losing all those pieces of our history because they are visible symbols of where those historical figures lived. What would you do to preserve and promote those sites and use those also as means of educating our younger people about the milestones in our development as a country?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As part of the retooling of Ghana Museum and Monuments Board, these discussions came up. One of them is actually applying for the Christian Board Council, a portion of it, about 6 rooms, where we intend to, once given the nod, to create a presidential museum. So all the legends of our nation, you go to some of their homes, they have a jacket they wore, a book they wrote, or even the pot they ate in. So we'll have the opportunity to do a 24-hour museum, but only a portion of Christianborg. But the opportunity to go and renovate homes. We have one in Axim, Pagrant. His house is abandoned. There's a very famous Ghanaian called William Amo, a slave who ended up being a philosopher. His village is just there. You have people coming from the USA to visit that village, and the indigents, our Ghanaian society, we are not appreciating these things. So we have an opportunity to turn around some of the fortunes of the legends of the country by appreciating our forefathers. And it falls under the ambit of the Ghana Museum and Monuments Board. So once we give them the needed support, I'm sure they can do wonders. But again, our ministry is private sector led. So we have to create the enabling environment so we don't get seen as taking over the space of private sector. We will give them the needed support to come in, and the curators, the reservationists, the conservationists, and all the business entities that love the arts will support us in showcasing what Ghana has. There's so much to be discovered in Volta region, and I was amazed when I went through the transitional team. So there's a lot we can do, and as Honorable Suhini said, the music we listen to, I watched Wiala on TV, I was shocked. I said, this is a young Ghanaian girl going places, and yes, the talent is here, it needs to be harnessed. So we will, once given the nod, do our minimum best to support.
I mean your maximum best. My one last question, and this is a follow-up to one of your earlier responses about domestic tourism. I have taken my children all over the country, and I agree with you. The Volta region is beautiful, and yet it is a part of a country that not too many people visit. It's one of my favorite travel destinations. A few years ago, when Honorable Jacob Echebi Lamte was minister, his special assistant, Ferdinand Eyim, had a program during World Tourism Day where the ministry, in collaboration with the private sector, organized tours around the country. And they would advertise it, and those who wanted to pay to attend would also come, and journalists were also taken along on those tours. So it was a way of exposing the tourism treasures of this country to those who ordinarily wouldn't be able to arrange those programs. Would you consider revisiting those days? I'm sure there are people in the ministry who still remember. It was through that program that my children got to see the whole country, more or less, because every year they visited a different destination. I think it's a wonderful initiative, and I think it is something that ought to be restarted if it is no longer being done. And it is a whole week-long program can be planned around that, and people willingly
we would like to hear your question, please.
And you were watching Esla Owusu, the questioning the Minister Designate for Tourism, and she's been answering a number of questions. But earlier, I told you of her response to the controversial court case, and she actually said that she was waiting for a new date to appear in court to provide evidence indicating that she's not been involved in any fraudulent case. And we'll bring you more later in our subsequent bulletins. To some other stories here, and police this morning fired shots at a group of young men and women who had gathered at the offices of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly against the swearing-in of newly elected members of the Assembly. The ceremony was later conducted after it was held back for several hours by the protests of the angry youth. The following video depicts exactly what happened.
No. What you say?
So the swearing in of some sub-metro executives from the Ododo as well as Ablekuma South constituencies have created some chaos here at the Accra Metropolitan Authority's office. And I have with me Razak, who is from one of the constituencies, to explain further what their protest is about. Why are you agitated?
Why? Because we are in Ablekuma South. The youth in Ablekuma South, we are so angry. Why? Because we have a certain chairman called Lawyer Mark, but the chairman is not helping the youth. Why? Because we went to primals. Then Lawyer Jerry Ahmed won the election at the primals. So they must back Lawyer Jerry Ahmed Sahid to work. But they turned their back to Lawyer Jerry Ahmed Sahid to work. Then the youth in the constituency, we just stood up to work for Lawyer Jerry Ahmed. But now they are we have some government appointees in AMA South Metro. Lawyer Jerry Ahmed, they bring 5 slots. They have to give 2 slots to Lawyer Jerry Ahmed Said, the PC. Then the chairman will take the 3 slots. But we haven't heard anything since 2 weeks now. Yesterday evening, then since yesterday evening we hear it, then we say now there's nothing, so that we must to sit down and look upon these things. So we must to wake up and come. Then we must to protest. We must to protest the swearing in. If they have anything to tell us, they must come out and they should tell us. If Nana Akufo-Addo, the MPP, if Nana Akufo-Addo, the president in Ghana, if he want to contest the two terms, that one they fine. But if he don't want to contest the 2 terms, that he want to go just only 1 term, fine, cool.
So this is more of a party thing. One party works and you think the other party is the one who is going to chop, if I should put it that way.
Yes, of course.
So what's the name of this particular chairman you're talking about?
Lawyer Chairman McDonald.
We is from which party?
MPP.
And you guys are from the NDC?
No, we are from MPP.
You are from the MPP.
But it's not working.
But you think all the candidates that have been brought are from a different party?
No. They are from MPP, but they don't work for the MPP. Yeah.
So do you have your own candidates that you want to be appointed?
No, we don't have any candidate, but we want let the peace reveal. That's all.
For real.
But if you don't have candidates, who then do you want to be appointed? Because they've appointed some 5 people already and are not happy with it. So earlier we spoke to some of the members from Ablekuma South who are not in support of the candidates that are going to be sworn in for the sub-metro executives. I have with me Vincent, who is from the Ododo constituency. Yeah. What's your issue also?
Our issue is not too different from that of the people from Ablekuma South. We are here to protest against the appointment of certain people on the assembly. The number 1 person is Raymond Ntoanatete. And the reasons we are here protesting against their nomination is that if you really know the dynamics of Ododo politics, you realize that there is this electoral area called Kinkan, where people have this perception that it is a very strong hold of the NDC, where in fact, in statistics, you will know that MPP has never won even a single police station there before. But what happened this year? In last year's election, the MPP was able to win one police station there for the very first time. Now, police stations where we used to lose in the past with a margin of about 800 and others. This time around, we lost by just 60. This shows that there's been a paradigm shift of the people in that particular area. This shows that people really believed in the message that Akufo-Addo was preaching out. This shows that people really expect Akufo-Addo to deliver on the promises that he made. Therefore, we will not sit for certain people who are selfish, people who doesn't have the best interests of Akufo-Addo at heart. Those that will not allow the party to progress in those areas to be put in positions.
What's your reason for suggesting
My reason is that I told you of Raymond Ntoanatete. Now, let me give you a little background. During Kufuor's time, this same person was the coordinator for the National Youth Employment Program, the district coordinator. Now, we all know there were so many models under the youth employment. We had youth in grass cutter, youth in community nursing, health extension nurses, and so many. Now, this man, by then he was the assembly member for Milishi electoral area. He went about telling people, especially young guys, that there is this model, which is the youth in grass cutter rearing, which is very lucrative because after your training, you'll be given a stipend to start the business of rearing grass cutters. Now, a lot of people enrolled on that program, only for the thing to come up, and then nobody, if not even a single youth enjoyed or had the chance to partake in that thing.
So
the thing ended up being in this house. I'm blaming him for being corrupt because it is not like that model that wasn't implemented. It was implemented, but it ended up in his house.
Okay, so that's the issue against him. What about the others also? Why do you have issues?
You see, we believe. You see, the MPP have this nice structure. We have our regional, we have our national, we have our regional, we have our constituency, and we even have police station executives. This is a nice thing that the MPP have. Now, we believe the MPP has always said they believe in broad consultation. I know you are from the media. I want to ask you this question. When was the communique given to you that this thing will be happening? Do you even know about something about this thing happening here?
No.
The communique was given to people just this Thursday. Why are they in a rush to approve or swear in or whatever for these people? Why are they in a rush?
Some angry youth there. Now, Hannah Odami joins us live from the venue there. Hello, Hannah. We know that the ceremony has been held already, but how have the angry youth been reacting?
Yes, Beatrice, as we reported earlier, the angry youth are still here. Even though some warning shots were fired, some of them decided to still wait and see what will happen. As you just said, the swearing in has just finished. I see the assemblymen, the sub-metro executives coming out of the office. Now, while the swearing in was ongoing, we weren't allowed in, but I stood at the door of that room and I heard some dissenting views suggesting that even some members were in opposition with the election or the nomination of some of these executives. But when they came out and I asked some of them who refused to go on record, they said everything went on normally. Everybody agreed on who should be the executives and everything has gone on smoothly. I'm yet to get the exact number of persons that have been sworn in for each particular constituency to get to our listeners and viewers.
Thank you very much, Hano Dami. Still to come here on News Today, we'll go to Miotso, where some residents are living in constant fear over the activities of thugs, popularly known as land guards. Please stay with us. You're still watching News Today live on Joy News. Let's now move to Miotso, close to Pram in the Greater Accra region, where some residents are living in constant fear over the activities of thugs, popularly known as land guards. Some residents allege police in the area are treating the perpetrators with kid gloves. A shooting incident in the community over a piece of land on the 29th of December 2016 led to the death of 67-year-old Francis Teteboche and a mason believed to be in his 30s. Two vehicles owned by Mr. Boche's son were also touched in the process. Ahead of a press conference to be addressed by family members of one of the deceased, Joy News has been speaking to some residents in the area and joins my colleague Maxwell Agbagba is there. He joins us live on the line. Hello, Maxwell. What have the residents been telling you?
Well, this is a lot of them have been expressing fear. They say that they do not know what exactly would happen. I mean, in the next moment. One woman that I had interactions with tells me that yesterday, she sometime around 8:30 p.m., she had some people come into her shop. In fact, she tells to the main streets on the Pram Road, if it gets to Miotso. She was complaining that, some people came to her shop, and she suspects actually that the attack, what we popularly call, land guard. She said some behavior that they put up at her shop actually gave her cause to worry. But she was saved by the timely intervention of some other two gentlemen who pleaded for them to leave without causing any mayhem. Now, the second that I had interactions with also expressed, the same kind of fear. Let's say that they've reported the issue to the police, but it looks the case that the police are not really doing anything to help the situation. A lot of the times they claim that when they report the perpetrators to the police, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you see the people, the corporates, still walking in town and going about their normal duties. Another person that I had interaction with is the son of one of the deceased actually in this case. Well, fresh instances are emerging out of this situation. He tells me that the situation on the 29th of December, what happened in their home, where two cars were burnt at his brother's, and then two people killed when his father went to the land that was burnt there. He says that they suspect that police actually have a hand in the killing of his father and then one mason on the said land. In fact, when we went to the two-story building, we entered and we saw the splash of blood in one of the rooms actually. That was where the mason who died in that incident was actually murdered in cold blood. The man we are talking about, Francis Teteboche, was murdered outside the two-story building, yet to be completed story building. And then we went there also, and then we saw the spot for ourselves. Now, the son of Mr. Teteboche has been telling us that they want to bring closure to this issue. They want some kind of closure to this issue. They want to bring finality to it. So he tells me that they are holding this press conference purposely to address these key issues and also to, bring out the main facts that they have discovered from this case.
Seems we've lost Maxwell Agbagba on the line there, but you were listening to him giving us some details of what has been happening in Miotso and the fact that the people are unhappy, and so they are holding this press conference to tell the police what is happening and let the public know exactly what is happening as well. But you're still here on News Today on Joy News.